What are those?
Those are all the humans of the world. And these are all the mutants. I'm connected to all of their minds.
The CIA would kill for this.
I know they would. Where are you, Eric?
Charles.
Hello, old friend. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I feel your pain. And your loss.
You think because you can see into my head, you know how it feels. You're looking in the wrong place, Charles.
What happened to them? It was terribly wrong. But come back to us. I can help you.
Help me?
Think of your wife, think of your daughter. What would they have wanted?
I would have wanted to live. I tried you away, Charles. I tried to be like them. Live like them. But it always ends the same way. They took everything away from me. Now, we'll take everything from them.
Ich bin unvermeidbar. Und ich bin Iron Man.
Welcome to the Mr. Pictures channel. Will Magneto and Doctor Strange now act together? If there's one thing Magneto doesn't do, it's listen to anyone and simply act according to his logic. Doom is a threat, and the Omega Mutant wants to stop him. Doom Stark. The Last Judgment. The future was doomed. The Earth was no longer ruled by kings or gods. There were no heroes to protect her, no villains to threaten her. There was only him, Doom Stark, the absolute sovereign of time and space. Magneto watched the planet's ruin from the edge of what was once Genosha. Cities built with promises of freedom were now just shadows consumed by time. There were no more mutants. There was no more resistance. There was only one choice: change the past. And to do that, he would need the only person capable of bending the fabric of reality. Doctor Strange, Magneto's last request in the far reaches of the multiverse, the fortress of Sanctum Sanctorum, still stood, one of the last remnants of magic that Doomstark had not eradicated. Magneto walked to the entrance, his black cloak trailing over the ruins. He pushed the door open with a slight movement of his hand, entering a sanctuary consumed by time. In the center of the hall, Stephen Strange sat in a meditative position, his empty eyes staring into the candle flames that burned unceasingly. Magneto approached slowly. "Doctor, we need to talk." Strange looked up. He already knew what Magneto wanted. "You want me to open a portal to the past?" Magneto nodded. "Doomstark is unbeatable. Our only chance is to stop his rise before it happens." Strange stood up, his face filled with infinite sadness. "And what do you plan to do when you get there?" Magneto didn't hesitate. "I will kill Tony Stark before he has the chance to become Doom." Silence took over the hall, and then Stranger's laughter echoed through the place. "Do you really think it's that simple?" Magneto frowned. "What do you mean?" Strange walked to a shelf full of old books and removed a volume sealed by mystical chains. He opened the pages and pointed to a symbol drawn there. It was an eye surrounded by a circle of runes. This is what Doomstark has become. A being who transcended time and reality. He closed the book and looked directly into Magneto's eyes. If you kill Tony Stark, something worse could take his place. But Magneto didn't hesitate. "Still, it's a risk we need to take." Strange sighed, and then he opened the portal to the past. The killer in the past Magneto stepped out of the portal and stepped into a world that had not existed for a long time. The past, New York City, sparkled with life. The Avengers still existed. Tony Stark was still just a man, not a god. He could still be stopped, but Magneto knew he couldn't act directly. If the heroes discovered his presence, he would be hunted before he could complete his mission. It needed to be surgical, just one chance. A single moment. And then Stark would be dead. But Magneto wasn't the only time traveler. Doomstark already knew what he was trying to do, the Guardian of Destiny. From the top of Stark Tower, Tony watched the city through his helmet. His artificial intelligence, JARVIS, alerted him. "Sir, there is a disturbance in the flow of time." Tony frowned. "Disturbance?" Suddenly, the tower shook. A beam of electromagnetic energy cut through the skies and hit the top of the building. Tony turned around in time to see a man floating in the air. A man he only knew from mutant stories. Magneto! Tony's helmet formed over his face as he activated his armor. "I don't know what you came here to do, but I'll tell you something." Before he could finish, Magneto raised his hand and crushed Stark's armor like it was paper. Tony was thrown backwards. Slamming into a wall hard, Magneto landed in front of him. "I'm sorry, Stark, but you can't live." He raised his other hand, ready to finish the job, but before he could act, time froze. Reality itself has broken, and a voice sounded through the void. "Did you really think you could stop me?" Magneto felt absolute terror as he saw the figure emerging from the shadows of time. Doomstark. Even with time broken around him, he still existed. He looked directly at Magneto, and then he smiled. "You can't kill Tony Stark, Magneto, because I am inevitable. Time was broken. The past and the future were no longer separate entities. They collided, folded into each other, blending into a chaotic tangle of possibilities and inexorable destinies. And in the center of this whirlwind, 3 men were standing. Tony Stark, Magneto, Doom Stark. The first, an arrogant genius, unaware of his true role in the future. The second, a warrior desperate to prevent a fate he thought was inevitable. And the third, a god. The death of Tony Stark Magneto didn't hesitate. Even in the face of Doom Stark's imposing presence, even feeling the distortion of time and space around him, he did not allow himself to retreat. He couldn't. With a sudden gesture, he raised his hand and crushed Tony Stark's armor from the inside out. The metal contorted like aluminum foil. The vibranium plates and nanites shattered with a deafening crack. Tony shouted. His body was lifted into the air, his lungs compressed by the very suit that was supposed to protect him. And then, in a final movement, Magneto closed his fist, and Tony Stark's heart stopped. His body fell heavily to the ground, motionless. Iron Man was dead. Silence. Magneto took a deep breath, taking in the scene in front of him. He felt the weight of what he had done, but he didn't allow himself to regret it. It was necessary. But then, Doom Stark Ryu. Ah, Magneto! Did you really think that would make any difference? Magneto looked up, his face hardened. Doom Stark didn't seem shaken, not even furious. He seemed amused. You never understood, did you? Doom Stark continued. No matter what you do, Magneto, no matter how hard you try to change the past. He leaned forward, his eyes burning like doomed. Sons, I already exist. The truth about Doom. Stark reality shattered around them. Magneto felt the ground disappear beneath his feet. Time warped, sucking him into a vortex of chaotic images. He saw timelines crossing each other, futures being erased and rewritten in a matter of seconds. And then he saw it. He understood. The truth about Doom Stark. Tony Stark wasn't just a man, he was a concept, an inescapable force of the multiverse. It didn't matter how many times he was killed, erased, or never born. The flow of time itself would always create a Stark. There would always be a reality where he would become Doom. There would always be a timeline where he would take absolute control of existence for himself. Destiny could not be changed. Magneto fell to his knees, the truth crushing his mind like a star collapsing in on itself. He couldn't win. Doom Stark would always exist. And now he had angered a god. The final judgment. Doom Stark hovered above Magneto, his eyes burning with a cold glow. You tried to stop me! His voice was calm, almost gentle. And for that now, you will see the price of your arrogance. Magneto tried to raise his hand, tried to use his power against Doom. But there was no more metal in the universe. Doom Stark had undone all metallic matter from existence with a thought. I could kill him right now. Doom continued, tilting his head. But that would be too mild a punishment, don't you think? He extended his hand. Tony Stark's lifeless body rose into the air. And then, before Magneto's horrified eyes, Tony opened his eyes. But they were no longer a man's eyes. They were the eternal flames of damnation. Doom Stark had rewritten reality. He was Tony Stark. He always would be. And Magneto realized too late that there was never hope. Doom Stark was inevitable. And now, he would rule over everything. To be, continue, and. That's our story today. Comment here what you thought of it all. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.